Hi, I'm a dental hygiene student. Let's talk about tooth development stages. So we have 5 stages. We have the induction or thickening, bud, cap, bell, and eruption. The first stage starts about 6 weeks in utero. This is when odontogenesis is happening. Osteo is bone, but odont is tooth. Orthodontist, I think of odontogenesis. When I think of Genesis, I think about like if you're religious, Genesis is like the first of the Old Testament, the beginning of everything, right? So odontogenesis, the beginning process of a tooth, right? So if you remember in that video that we talked about how an embryo develops into a fetus, we talked about ectoderm and endoderm and how it makes mesenchyme. And now we're going to talk about ectomesenchyme in the oral cavity is going to proliferate and was going to send signals to the oral epithelium to proliferate, grow the cells to create that dental lamina. So oral epithelium is the outer layer of the mouth right here, and then we have the dental lamina. The thickening of the dental lamina is going to be that first sign of growing, the budding. Going to be the first evidence of budding teeth, which is the next stage, the bud. Sometimes what happens is in the dental lamina, when that thickening, the budding stage is starting to happen, there can be either extra teeth or missing teeth, which happens during that time. So now we have the budding stage, which is 8 weeks in utero. When I think of budding, like, oh, buddy up, we're gonna listen to the teacher talk. I don't know why the budding stage is the second stage, so it's like you're in 2nd grade, right? You're listening to the teacher read a story. Think about that. And basically what's happening here is that the mesenchyme is condensing. It's all, so it makes the tooth. All primary teeth and molars are going to come from the dental lamina, but permanent incisors and permanent canines and permanent premolars come from the primary, because our teeth absorb the baby teeth or the primary teeth, and those become what we have. We're born with all of our baby teeth are being made and our molars, but the only thing that come from our primary are going to be our incisors, canine, and premolars. At 9 weeks, we have a thing called the cap stage. The way I remember that is that's no cap, right? So you can think about how 9-year-olds like to lie. They're capping, right? Because 9-year-olds like to lie a lot and they like to tattle. Just think of 9 weeks, 9 years old, they're capping, right? That's when we start growing an enamel organ. What's that? So it's starting to become a tooth right here. It's starting to form a little organ or a tooth germ. So right here is the inner cell layer right here. Then we have the outer cell layer, this yellow part. Here we have the stella reticulum on the inside, all these like little red kind of pieces. And then right here we have this thing called the enamel knot. That's basically going to become the cusp tips. This outside layer right out here is called the dental follicle, kind of like a hair follicle. And then here, this is like going to become the dentin and pulp. In the cap stage, you can have defects here. For example, you can have cysts, tomas, gemination, fusion, or dens in dente, which is teeth in teeth. Now we're at 11 weeks and we have the bell stage. I always think of Beauty and the Beast because we have this thing called histodifferentiation. That's the transformation into distinct cells. Bell, histo, hairy man, and differentiation into distinct cells. The beast is becoming a man, or the man turned into the beast, So we talked about the inner enamel organ, which is these little parts right there. That becomes ameloblasts, which is the making of enamel. We have the odontoblasts, which is the making of teeth. That is becoming the dentin, or the dentinal papilla. This is when morphodifferentiation happens, morphing into the crown. This white part is going to morph into the crown. At 14 weeks, we have apposition, which is part of that bell stage. Odontoblasts basically create this dentin matrix, which is made from collagen. Dentin and cementum is a little softer. That's why enamel is that protector, that hard layer. Ameloblasts, like I said, make the enamel matrix and make amelogenin. It's going to start making this cervical loop. The outer enamel layer and the inner enamel layer start to join together. When they join together, it's going to be seen as REE, which is going to turn into the junctional epithelium. See right here, the inner enamel and outer start to combine, and then that basically becomes that junctional epithelium, that bottom of the tooth, where now the roots are going to start, because that's where you want to feel the base of that pocket / sulcus. We also have this thing called the Hershey's root sheath, and that melts because Hershey's chocolate disintegrates and becomes the epithelial rests of Malices. It's like you're melting the Hershey's and helps that inner and outer enamel organ combine together. What's cool about the HERS, the Hertwig root sheath, is it extends downwards to create the roots for the molars to be multi-rooted. Also during the stage, the defects that happen here are enamel hypoplasia, enamel pearls, and conservancy. I can't remember how to say it, but I'll show you. Now we are at maturation, the reposition of enamel and dentin. That's basically going to be the calcification of the cusp tips and the mesial edges. And it's going to start to proceed cervically. That's at 14 weeks and continuing. So that it takes about 2 years to fully form all the primary teeth and erupt. And then it takes about 4 to 5 years, because at 6, you're going to start that mixed dentition stage. You're going to have the permanent crown. This shows basically how it grows in the mouth. Isn't that so cool? Okay, quick summary. Enamel organ creates the amelioblast, which help create the enamel. The dentinal papilla creates the odontoblasts, which help create dentin. The dental follicle helps create cementoblasts, which helps create cementum. Central cells help create the pulp. Osteoblasts help create the alveolar bone. And fibroblasts help create the PDL. Oh, I feel like this was all over the place, but I hope that has helped you, and let me know if you need anything else. Bye.